All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MCJ Report number 162. We are independent media, and I'm your host, Morgan C. Jonas. Please go ahead and share the broadcast. Let's get the word out there, ladies and gentlemen. These are exciting times that we're living in. That's right, of course, with the federal election just around the corner, coming about very, very quickly. So, good news. My independent nomination has been approved by the AEC. That's right. So our independent Senate team, which is of course myself and Monica, we are going to be on the ballot paper, okay, officially. And guess what? Tomorrow we'll be able to tell you which group we are allocated. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll be able to illustrate exactly where we will be on the ballot paper. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. It is all happening. And of course, none of this would be possible without we the people rising up, right? The government has gotten away with too much, and it is up to us regular Australians to step in. All right, so I hope that you're fired up. I know that I am, and be optimistic, ladies and gentlemen. That's my message. So anyway, we've got an MCJ report this evening, so we're going to talk about that. So what's on the agenda for this evening? Alrighty, so as I just mentioned, independent nomination approved, awesome stuff. Also on the agenda, politicians exposed for having fake Twitter followers. That's right. I found an interesting little tool for checking up on this sort of stuff. So you'll be interested to see which politicians have the highest ratio of fake followers. I'm excited to share that with you. Also, support for the major parties has plummeted. That's right. Australians are making their voices heard and saying that they've had enough of the Liberal Labor paradigm. Also, more Australians enrolled to vote on a single day than any time before in our history. Okay, I think that also says something really good. Unfortunately, in other news, we see that more athletes are suffering heart problems. And also on tonight's show, we are going to hear from Brad Hill from the Great Caledonian Hotel in Singleton, New South Wales. His hotel is under attack yet again. So Brad, during COVID, he took a staunch stance against government overreach. He's considered an absolute legend by so many of us. and now the local council is coming after his hotel because he made a big red ensign on the roof. That's right, an Australian flag Red Ensign, and apparently that's against the rules. So we're going to talk about that on the show for this evening. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get things underway, shall we? Alrighty, where did I go? Alright, there I am. All good. Alright, so just like that, Morgan C. Jonas, Monica Smith, nominations officially approved. Alright, so we're going to get the ballot draw tomorrow being Friday. So I'll be able to let you know exactly where we are on the ballot paper. So put some positive thoughts and energy out there for a favorable position. Group A would be really good. And of course, if you'd like to get on board with the campaign, I can tell you this is a campaign unlike no other. We're doing things completely differently from everyone else. morgancjonas.com. Put your details in and stay up to date with our movements. Alrighty, so look at this. Isn't that a shame, ladies and gentlemen? What a shame, huh? Yeah, maybe for these particular individuals. Support for Libs and Labor hits rock bottom. Alrighty, so what exactly is going on here? Alrighty, so we're talking about a poll here. So it says here, the poll published in Tuesday's Australian shows support for both the Coalition and Labor has slumped to 35% and 36% respectively, with 29% of voters saying they'll get behind an independent or a minor party. All right, so if you're looking for a staunch freedom independent, you got one right here, just saying. All righty, so moving along here. As I mentioned before, Australia records biggest single day of enrolment in history as voters gear up for federal election. I think this indicates absolutely that the people have had enough. They want the old guard out. They want new life in Parliament, but more importantly, people that actually love our country and care about freedom. And morgancjonas.com if you'd like to find out more about my independent campaign. Alrighty, now, this is pretty interesting. Politicians who have high fake to real follower ratios on Twitter. This is actually pretty funny. So I had a bit of fun putting some figures together. I hope that you find it amusing. I know that I did. So what are we talking about here? All right. Well, first of all, I came across this tool, which is pretty interesting. You might like to check it out. It's pretty fun. You can create a free account, which gives you limited access to its functions. SparkToro.com. It's a tool. So this tool defines fake followers as accounts that are unreachable and will not see the account's tweets either because they're spam, bots, propaganda, etc., or because they're no longer active on Twitter. Alrighty, so this is a fake account detector. Now, it's important to point out that almost all Twitter accounts do have fake followers, and this is something that is inevitable, especially when accounts grow bigger and bigger. Okay, but certain accounts actually have a disproportionate number of fake followers. SparkToro.com has been able to quite accurately estimate what percentage any given account should have of fake followers given the size of the account in terms of total followers. So what we're going to have a look at here today is some politicians who have accounts whereby their proportion of fake followers exceeds what is the expected average. That's right. So how are we going to measure this? Well, I had to I had to come up with a little model here. I've called it the fakeness level index. That's right. So we're going to be looking at 4 politicians and comparing their fakeness level index, FLI for short, in order to determine who potentially is the most fake of the fake. Alrighty, so what have I done and how does this little index work? Alrighty, so in order to determine the FLI of any given Twitter account's followers, we must first take into account the average percentage of fake followers associated with various account sizes. Accounts with large amounts of followers are likely to attract higher rates of fake followers, okay? So that's just how it works with bots and spam and things like that. When determining FLI, the following formula will be used. Percentage of fake followers minus percentage of average fake followers, right? Again, determined by account size. So therefore, the higher the FLI, the more fake the follower base is. Alrighty, so let's take a look at what we found out, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, first on the agenda, who here knows who this guy is? Alrighty, so Scott Morrison, there he is, ScoMo. 41.3% fake followers, or 200, or just below 270,000 followers. Alrighty, so if you have a look to the right of the page here, it says accounts with similar size following to Scott Morrison have a median of 32% fake followers. All right, so a median of 32%, yet Scott Morrison here has beyond that 32% at 41.3. All right, giving him a fakeness level index of 9.3. Alrighty, so moving along here, who do we have next? Mark McGowan, the absolute maniac from Western Australia. All right, 47% fake followers, and based on the account size and medium fake follower expected number, this gives him a fakeness level of 15. All right, so he's beat Scott Morrison there. All right, next up, I know that some of you know who this guy is. All right, jumping up here, Daniel Andrews, 51.3% fake followers, giving him a fakeness level there of 19.3. And we've got one more to go, ladies and gentlemen. So believe it or not, there is actually a politician out there with a higher fakeness level than Daniel Andrews. And it is, drum roll, get ready for it. All right, this guy right here, Adam Bant, taking the cake. 53.4% fake followers with a fakeness level index of 21.4. Okay, so again, with the median for an account of this size is supposed to be 32%, but Adam Bant just way over that at 53.4. So I hope that you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's just important to keep in mind that some of these big accounts out there, they are not what they appear a lot of the time. Now, I'm not accusing of these politicians of purchasing fake followers or anything like that. Maybe some accounts are just more prone to spam or propaganda bots and things like that. But I just think it's interesting to keep tabs on it because, of course, all these politicians out there, they want you to think that they're big and popular, but when you really go and crunch some numbers, you see that they're not actually all that they claim to be. And if you'd like to play around with the tool yourself, go to sparktoro.com, a really interesting company with an interesting CEO. It looks like they're doing some fascinating things in the world of Twitter analytics. So I do recommend that if you're bored, go and check it out. You can create a free account. And for the record, we are not sponsored by sparktoro.com. Not sponsored. All right. Anyway, moving along here, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? All right, what do we have? Another athlete suffers a heart attack. All right, so this is very concerning. Of course, we've seen a trend, not just here in Australia, but around the world of these athletes in incredible shape, suffering many different heart-related problems, some heart attacks, other people dropping in the field. So what do we have? We've got WA Cricket ex-teammates in shock after Ryan Campbell suffers heart attack. Okay, so he was in the UK. Of course, we saw recently in the AFL, Ollie Wines on-field heart issues, and on the Footy Show they were talking about the prospect of it being connected to the jab. Okay, I think a lot of us were surprised to see that conversation come about on a show like the Footy Show, and this is just happening all over the world, ladies and gentlemen. I found this video right here. This was published by The Highwires. Okay, so it's a news site, alternative news site, thehighwire.com. It's a compilation of news snippets of various young athletes around the world who are also experiencing these types of heart complications in recent times. This is pretty shocking when it's all put together in such a format. The video goes for about 3.5 minutes. I'm going to play that for you right now.
Distressing scenes at Melbourne's training session with defender Jake Lever collapsing on the field.
Breaking new details on the deaths of a high school soccer player.
The Kennedy High community mourning tonight after one of their high school football players died.
A South Carolina high school football player has died after collapsing at football practice.
A 15-year-old boy died after he collapsed during basketball practice.
And now we're hearing from his mother as his family and school try to come to terms with what happened.
A West Catholic high school student has died after collapsing during a football scrimmage.
On mile 8, she suddenly felt fuzzy and blacked out.
It was around 30 minutes into today's session that a number of players began to struggle, but Jake Lever in particular
unexpectedly collapsed on the field.
Megan went into cardiac arrest,
collapsing during Friday night's football game.
We're talking about a 15-year-old boy who was in very good health.
The reason why Manny collapsed in the first place still isn't known.
So you might be wondering how someone in such great shape could suffer cardiac arrest.
It's a rare thing that happens.
Coroner says the condition is rare.
It's just one of those tragedies.
Did she have any signs before this race?
Absolutely not. She felt like she was in the best shape of her life.
That's incredible.
USC wants to attack, but you've got to be careful.
He collapsed.
Something happened to one of the referees.
All right, so very disturbing scenes there without any doubt, ladies and gentlemen, and let it be known to Facebook and the tech giants, I'm not insinuating what the cause of these injuries are. I'm just saying that it's very disturbing and it really needs to be looked into and the whole world needs to have a bit of a think about it. What do you think at home, ladies and gentlemen? Anyway, moving along here, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? All right. Now, this is absolutely disgraceful. This is so un-Australian. I'm disgusted, but unfortunately, I am not surprised. Singleton Caledonian Hotel threatened by their local council to remove their Red Ensign from their rooftop. That's right, threatened with a $500,000 fine. Are we living in Australia? Or are we living in North Korea? In what crazy backwoods world should a small business owner be threatened? This is just absolute thuggery, and we've seen so much of this from local councils over the years, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? Now, you may remember the Caledonian Hotel. That's right. The owner, Brad Hill, is a staunch defender of freedom. He's a man that stands up for what's right. He is truly one of us, and we have nothing but respect for him. Who remembers these signs during the COVID period? Look at this. Free Australia, jab or no jab, all welcome at the Cali. Free Australia, united we stand. And there you see a Red Ensign flag there as well. So this is truly a business owner who has had a gutful of the government, a man who's dedicated to standing up and doing the right thing. and he has done so. He's been fined for alleged breaches of COVID policy or whatever that policy is. I'm still trying to figure that stuff out myself. And he finds himself under attack again with a new battle on his hands. That's right. So a great ensign there on the roof of the hotel there in Singleton, expressing love for Australia and unity between Australians, but apparently it's angered the local council and they're coming after Brad. This is, I mean, how do you even put into words something like this, ladies and gentlemen? There's going to be a big rally actually in Singleton this weekend. So if you're in New South Wales, let me just tell you where it's going to be. So this Saturday, 10 a.m., peaceful walk commencing from the Sundial and Gowrie Street in Singleton. So I was fortunate enough to catch up with Brad before. We had a bit of a discussion for 6 minutes regarding this assault on his business and the event that's planned for this weekend. So I'm going to bring Brad on right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're very proud to be joined here today by Brad from the Caledonian Hotel in Singleton. Brad, welcome to MCJ Report. Now, first of all, I'd like to commend you on remaining so staunch during this period of COVID, all this craziness and overreach by the government. You've held your ground, and you're doing it again, this time against the local council, who, for reasons that I'm not able to understand, have demanded that you take down your Red Ensign from the rooftop. Can you just tell us what's going on with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, I mean, the flag that we had put up there has been up there for probably for nearly 3 months now, and then just out of the blue here a few weeks ago, we got a letter from the council. It was quite surprising actually, that they'd had a complaint, and they basically demanded us to that we had to take the flag down. They give us 28 days to do it. If we weren't to take it down, though, after 28 days, they were going to fine us $500,000, $5,000 for every day that it was left up there after that date that they gave us.
That's crazy. Now, this is your venue. You're the licensee. What gives the council the right to make this type of demands and to make these sort of threats?
Well, that's exactly right. You know, and like being a hotel, we've got alcohol signs all around the pub. You know, without mentioning any type of beer, but you know, we've got all over the pub, and we didn't even really see a problem with putting an Australian flag on our roof. It actually, we've had that many people say that actually it actually enhances the building. Like it also, like being that flag, a lot of people don't understand the history of that flag. So it's been quite an eye opener for a lot of people. You know, when you can explain to them what that flag represents, it's and like the history of it. So it's been a bit of a learning curve for not only us over the years, but for everyone. It's in a strange way. It's well, not a strange way, but it's actually served its purpose. I knew when I put it up there, I knew that we'd get a reaction. I didn't expect this reaction from the council, but it's in all honesty, it's actually been a positive reaction. Other than the council, and they're obviously coughing a fair bit of backlash over it now. We've got some local people that in Singleton that have organised a rally, and that's happening this Saturday, and it's actually going quite a lot of traction. We don't know what to expect, to be honest, but I think Singleton's in for a bit of an eye opener this Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. And have you reached out to the council and spoken to them? And if so, what was their response?
Well, we've been corresponding with them with letters. We hand deliver them letters. They send us mail via registered post, so we have to go to the post office. Like the guy that actually I won't say his name, but he won't even come out to receive the letters office. So we are in correspondence with them. We did in our last letter to them, we said that we were willing to meet and discuss what options, like in a sensible, realistic manner. But we haven't heard back from them after that last letter.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, and it makes you feel very concerned about the state of affairs in our country, whereby you, a small business owner, are being threatened with a $500,000 fine for putting one of our national flags on your rooftop. I think it's absolutely disgusting behaviour from the council, and they need to be called out for it. And in my view, they need to be shamed. It's just it's un-Australian, and it's bullying as well, and really attacking you as a business owner. No doubt suffering throughout COVID to run your business and dealing with all the other garbage that's come along with this ordeal. And I'm just in, I mean, I shouldn't be, what's the right word? I'm disgusted, but I'm not surprised. We've seen way too much of this in our country. Now, where exactly can people go on the weekend to support this cause?
Well, basically, Singleton's like an hour and a half inland from Newcastle, so we're in the Hunter Valley. In saying that, a lot of people know where we are now. We've had people every week, every weekend. People come from all over Australia. Actually, a lot of people heading back from the Canberra rallies are calling in. But yeah, it's basically an hour and a half inland from Newcastle. They're doing it'll probably be like a half an hour walk type thing, sort of through the main sort of street of Singleton. And then working their way to the Kelly here. We've got some speakers organised. Well, we haven't, but like the organisers have. They've got some good speakers. A couple of solicitors. A couple of the politicians are also coming down to talk. Which it's not a political event, but there are some. We've had a few politicians coming in, like with the stance that we've made, that have, I suppose they're trying to get their message out there. We welcome most of them. We don't affiliate with any of them, but there's some that I'll never let into the pub. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel the same way about my front door when it comes to some of those characters. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the details are on the poster. I posted it on my Facebook. Now it's 10 a.m. Peaceful walk from the Sundial Gowrie Street, Singleton, on the footpath to the Kelly. So guys, details in the description. Get behind it. This is a great venue standing up for your freedom. So get on down and support the crew there at the Caledonian Hotel. All right, now Brad, I'd like to thank you very much for your time, and after this election said and done, mate, I'd love to come up and have a beer with you.
We'll get to meet one day, and you keep up the good work too. Stay true to yourself, and don't become what they call a politician.
Absolutely not. That's why I'm running as an independent, because I said I don't want to jump into any of these parties. So yeah, we'll keep that going.
You have the great work. Yeah.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you, brother. All right.
Thank you. Bye. All right, a big thank you to Brad. Brad, what an absolute legend, standing up for our freedom, and shame on the council over there. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if I get elected, I would love to pull rank on some of these council members. What a disgrace to our country these people are. We're supposed to be a free country, and threatening and attempting to intimidate business owners is just absolutely disgraceful. So once again, if you can get down, I highly urge you to. So the details for this particular event, 10 a.m. on Saturday from the Sundial, which is Gowrie Street in Singleton. Details are in the description of this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that just about wraps it up for tonight's episode of MCJ Report. Thank you so much for watching. Rest assured, we are going strong. I am in good spirits, of course, with our independent campaign for the Senate. Tomorrow, I'll be able to update you all on our ballot allocation. So if you're out there, put some positive thoughts into the universe that we get a really good position. Group A would be ideal, I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. And if you'd like to jump on board with our independent campaign, we are just going for it with everything we have. That's right. It's time for the old guard to be kicked out. We need new, fresh life in Parliament, people that support freedom, people that are willing to stand up for our country. These current politicians, they're self-serving. They serve their parties. They serve certain people, maybe to the likes of those who operate in various intergovernmental organizations like the World Economic Forum, just saying. They are not representing the interests of the average Australian. Enough is enough, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make it happen. There's a few more weeks. So no matter where you are, get out there and help an independent or a freedom-friendly candidate. All right, not the climate independents. We don't need them. But as long as who you are supporting is standing up for freedom, that's the most important thing. Alrighty, I'm gonna get going, ladies and gentlemen. Lots on the agenda. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on MCJ Report. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to support my independent campaign for the Senate, the best way you can do so is registering your details at morgancjonas.com and staying up to date with our movements.
Authorised by Morgan Charles Jonas, Independent for the Senate, Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.